Men have read it. What myth about men is 100 untrue and infuriates you when you hear it? We're all unable to control our nature to have sex. Believe me, if I couldn't control myself, you'd have noticed by now. Yo, my first gold on Reddit ever. Thanks, you beautiful human beings. I'm the oldest of 3 girls, and my mom raised us by saying that all men only want sex, and they will do anything to get it, even rape children. We are all deeply paranoid of men, and hypervigilant parents, and have really fucked up relationships, and holy shit, I'm having a revelation. It's like we have the same mother. When I first got my period, my mum told me that all the men will be out to get me, and how much they love to get virgins that just started, and all men want is sex. I was 9, it took me so long to get over my fear paranoia of men. WTF. That's a horrible thing to say to a 9-year-old, or an 18-year-old for that matter. It's getting better now, but back in the day, basically every guy on TV was a sports-obsessed, car motorcycle-loving, beer-swilling moron who couldn't function without his wife to look after him and the kids. My wife went away last week for work, and I'll have you know that only half my kids got eaten by wolves. You did your best, man. Wolves always hunt in packs, so you were probably outnumbered. Plot twist, he only has 1 kid. Well, half of one now. I'll have you know that only half my kids got eaten by wolves. Natural selection at work, your surviving kids will pass on their stronger genes. Don't want your bloodline getting diluted, your ancestors would be pissed. As long as you adopted the wolves and dressed them up as the kids who were eaten, you should be alright. That, if we like children, but don't have children of our own, we're automatically given at the very least a little grilling, if not straight out asked if we're a pedophile. I like dogs too, for pretty similar reasons. Nobody ever asks me if I'm a dog fucker. Are you a dog fucker? Well, thank you for asking. No, I'm not. Well, at least not anymore. Surprisingly bitey. Men can't be abused by women. Or that men can get assaulted, harassed by other men. I've had some very pushy gay men approach me, one going as far as trying to touch my ass and dick inside my underwear, after I said like 3 times that I'm straight and not interested. Luckily the women I was out with immediately chastised that guy. But TBH, guys laugh at me when I tell that story and talk about how badly they would have beaten him up. Women who I've told always reacted shocked and emphatic. I was ruified at a gay bar a few months ago. Nothing happened, but I'm pretty certain it was only because I left the bar and somebody found me out on the sidewalk outside the bar, unable to move or do anything really, and called my friend to pick me up using my phone. I really hate how fruity drinks are associated with women. Like, damn, can I just enjoy my strawberry daiquiri? I always order fruity frozen drinks, and my wife always orders beers. Half the time, the waiter gives me the beer instead. Nobody scoffs when a dude's got a kick-ass sloopy, but as soon as you add some rum, it's a girl's drink. Fuck off. If a woman physically assaults a man, he somehow must have done something to deserve it. This gets even worse in those cases where male victims of domestic abuse are getting arrested in case the police gets called, even though they are the victims and not the attacker. I called the cops once on an abusive ex who had threatened to kill herself as a way to manipulate me to stay with her. When they arrived, they treated me like I was a criminal. I'm sorry for you, man. I had to face the same situation, ex taking a bunch of pills as a way to manipulate me to stay with her. I was only 16 years old. I had to call the cops, and I was terrified. Thankfully, they were really helpful, and one of them even told me it wasn't my responsibility to put up with that shit. That we are not afraid of walking alone through a dark car park at night. After a great deal of asking everyone from police to self-defense instructors to a Green Beret and a bunch of combat vets to the most cracked-up gun nuts, not met a single person who had no fear. Because having fear is healthy. If you aren't afraid of anything, you're just a fucking idiot with no real-world experience. What distinguishes the people you mentioned is their ability to overcome fear and function decisively when they need to. That we miss signs that women give them because they are stupid. We see them, but we don't want to be creepy, jump to conclusions. Edit, or we are not interested. One woman's invitation is another woman's "I'm just being nice" is another woman's courtesy because I don't actually like you is another woman's "fuck me now." It's genuinely infuriating how many people have an anathema about direct communication. So, what are you hoping to get out of seeing me? Fun, hang out, have sex if you're up for it. Turns a fair number of people off, but it does definitely make shit clear. This 1000x over. I used to pick up on signals and not act on them for two reasons. 1. Low self-esteem. 2. I was terrified of taking something the wrong way and getting trapped in a situation where the girl would actually not have been flirting. There's any number of bad outcomes if a girl does something you think is flirting. For one, obviously, she could call you a creep for coming on too strong since you already thought she liked you. For another, maybe you just don't want that one last blow dealt to your self-confidence. It's a tricky situation. Daughter to a single dad here. There was this myth I discovered when I was young. It's something almost all my female friends were told, but thankfully not me. The myth is the belief that there are such things as girl business, where only your mom or other older females in the family should help you with. As the only girl in the house, growing up, my dad helped me understand and deal with a great many girl business problems. Meanwhile, all my friends had their moms to handle it for them. When my friends found out my dad was sort of in charge of handling those with me, they were shocked. They asked me why I didn't have an aunt or grandma to help instead. Well, my aunts all live at least 10 hours away, and grandma is even further. I began to realize over the years that there might actually be negative side effects to this girl's only way of thinking. Sure, having another female assist you with those issues might be less awkward and embarrassing, but there's already an inherent awkwardness and embarrassment associated with it. Learning to overcome the embarrassment is part of growing up and accepting your body. Furthermore, I have since grown up and began studying psychology and done some research into this further for my studies. I'd have to do a more in-depth and wide-reaching survey and analysis to come to findings I'd be comfortable with being peer-reviewed, but I have a theory that the girls-only mentality causes relationship issues later in life. Young girls grow up thinking that there are some aspects of womanhood men not only don't understand, but can't understand. It makes them not only less trusting of male partners, but also keeps them from seeing men as equals when it comes to parenting. Sure, if you're a mom of a young girl, there's no reason for you to not continue helping her with all the complex, feminine issues she's going through. Just be careful not to make her think her dad doesn't empathize or understand too. Don't make him this distant, third party who will never get it, or someone who should not be involved because he has a penis. That's the same toxic female attitude that causes soccer moms to call the cops on their dad when he takes his daughter to the park to play. Men can parent too, and they're surprisingly good at raising young girls on their own. Edit 1. Thank you to the guys who have sent PMS to say thanks, and to the few who asked for some advice. I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for the gold. Edit 2. Thanks to everyone for the awards. I am shocked at how big this has become since I posted it. I will reply to all the award givers in time, but I'm in my phone right now. Thank you again. That we're all not interested in, or incapable of being involved in the planning of our weddings. I cannot tell you how many comments like, "Remember, it's her day, not yours," I received during the 2-year lead up to our wedding. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'd been looking forward to getting married since I was 12 or something, but I took an active interest together with my wife in the planning of our wedding. It's not my day, it's hers. Fuck that. It was our day, we planned it together, her vision definitely brought it all together, and she did a fucking astounding job, but she didn't just make decisions on her own, we talked together about and worked together on every single thing involved in the event, and we were both ecstatic with how it turned out. It turned out beautifully. I try not to toot my own horn very often, but I never thought the best party I'd ever go to would end up being my own. My own parents, who are in an incredible, cooperative, supportive, happy married relationship, and are the best parents I could have possibly asked for the record, gave me grief about this sort of thing when I was telling them that if, when I get married, I want a smaller, not exorbitantly expensive wedding. They both, especially my dad, insisted that my hypothetical fiancé would be the one calling all the shots. Now that I type it out, I have to wonder if that's them perpetuating the stereotype, or calling me spineless. Smaller is the way to go. The current wedding industry is fucking predatory with the amount of money they expect a relatively new couple to spend on what is ultimately a glorified party. Financial issues are a prime reason why people get divorced, and what does our society do? Immediately saddle the new couple with a huge financial burden because it's expected. Fuck that shit. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more upcoming videos, and have an amazing day.